Hi everyone, it's been a while since my last video, so I wanted to show you guys how to make a plant that is very full. So I have a couple plants here that I'd like to demonstrate those concepts on. So the first is this, look at, it's wild. It's a nice long and wild plant. This is the Epipremnum Cebu Blue. It's related to pothos or devil's ivy, but it's just another variety that has beautiful kind of bluish grayish leaves. It's just beautiful. So one of my friends sent me a plant. It was in about a 4-inch or so container, but as you can see, you know, it's super long but not very full. So I've had many people ask me on my Instagram at Ohio Tropics how to create a full plant. So I'm going to move this other plant here aside for now. So I wanted to show you guys how I did that. So if you expect, you know, your little small plant to miraculously become this gigantic full specimen, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to help, give it a little bit of help to do that. So I'm going to demonstrate exactly what I'm going to do with that. I mean, this, isn't it cool? I mean, although it's cool to have it nice and long like that, but I want to develop a nice, thick, full plant that'll eventually get this long as well. So I'm going to show you how to do it. I'd like you to keep in mind, if many of you watch Oprah at all when she does the giveaway, so think of making a ton of cuttings, because what you're going to do is plant them back in the pot. So you get a cutting, and you get a cutting, and you get a cutting. Keep that in mind. So take a ton of cuttings. What you're going to do is hack your plant. I know a lot of people are very scared to trim their plants back. Don't be scared. It's not going to harm your plant. In fact, it'll benefit your plant in many, many, many ways. So I'm going to make a ton of cuttings. And then after I do that, I'm going to root them in water. So I have my water vessels here, one for each of these plants. And then I'm going to wait for them to root. And then what I'm going to do is pot this up when those roots form into a larger pot. So I'm going to transplant this plant, the original plant, into a larger pot. And then I'm going to plant those cuttings that I rooted in the water back in there. And then instantly you'll have a plant that's going to be very full. So you're going to need to do that. So if you're expecting this to get into this full, gigantic specimen, it's not going to happen. So you're going to have to help that out. The first thing I'm going to do, and many of you may cringe, but I'm just going to snip it, okay? So snip your plants. So on this particular vine, you know, at the point where each leaf meets the stem is called a node, right? And on a lot of plants, especially, you know, they're easily seen on vines, you'll be able to see a little aerial root already growing. So that's the part that's going to continue growing and propagating when you place it in water. So let's see, how short do I want to make this? I'm going to do that. There's one. That's a gigantic one, okay? So that's not it though. We're going to, we will continue to snip that. I'm going to snip that one, and we have another. I think we have another one here. This is a kind of a big tangled mess here. Oh my gosh, where is this thing? There we go. I think I found where it ended. All right, come on. All right, so here's another vine. Snip it right there. You are not going to kill your plant, don't worry. So by doing this, you have two benefits. Number one, this plant, the original plant, will keep growing. It's going to keep growing wherever, you know, right where you cut it. And what it'll also help do is help force growth at the base of the plant. So you may get additional vines being forced out from the base of the plant. So it's a win-win situation. So, you know, you'll have to get over the thought that you're going to hurt your plant by trimming it back. So of course it depends on the plant that you have too. But for something like, you know, pothos or this Epipremnum Cebu Blue, or this is I'm going to do the same thing with this plant, Monstera adansonii, if I'm pronouncing it right. It's the same thing. I'm going to do the exact same thing with that, okay? So I'm done with this for now. now I have my vines. I have maybe 3 different vines to deal with. And I think I'm going to put these in here. So what I'm going to do is take the bottom part, okay, and I want a stable footing inside of this container. So like I said, where the leaf, okay, where the leaf meets the stem, this is called the node, and right here there's a little tiny root, okay? So that's gonna continue to grow in the water. So I'm gonna snip off, you don't want any leaves underwater, I'm gonna snip off the bottom leaf, and I have 1, 2, 3 nodes there, so I'm gonna put that in water, so I should get 3 areas where the roots are gonna grow. And then after that, I'm gonna leave, let's say, maybe two leaves. I'm gonna snip it again, and that's 1 cutting. And then I'm gonna do it again. So again, snip off the bottom leaf or 2, so it has kind of stable grounding. I'm gonna do actually another one, why not, right? And here's the second cutting. Put that in water, shove it in there. All right, so that's 2 cuttings, right? 2 cuttings there. I'm gonna get rid of those leaves. Okay, and I'm gonna just keep doing that. So I have 2 more vines to snip. So I'm gonna find where I last cut it. And let's see, I have 1, 2, 3 nodes. You know, really you just want at least 1 or 2 underwater. So I'm gonna put it in there, nice and stable. Leave a couple leaves. Snip. I'm gonna snip off 1, 2. I'm gonna cut part of the stem off, so the node just underneath the bottom node there. So I have 1 little aerial root here, another aerial root there. Put it in water. Leave a couple leaves. Snip. And I could probably make, oh, this one is kind of leafless. It has a couple that are leafless, so let's see how many. And maybe I'll leave this one alone, okay? All right, kind of fun once you start getting into the routine. And here we go, okay? So these should start growing probably within days. You should notice new growth. So what you'll do after this, and I'll post another video, okay? What I'm going to do is when these root in water, you know, the roots should start showing up in a few days, but I'm gonna let them get maybe 1 inch long or so. You know, you don't wanna leave the cuttings in water terribly long. But then when I go to repot this, I'm going to take these and plant them in the same pot, and then you're gonna have a nice full plant. So that's how that works. And I'm gonna leave a link of my blog posts on my website, ohiotropics.com, okay, in the description of this video, as far as how I repot a plant, the proper way to repot a plant. So I'll put that in the description of the video. You can click on it and, you know, read up on the proper way to repot a plant. You don't just want to simply take it out of here and put it in a new pot and that's it. There's a couple steps that are critical to ensure that you know, your root-bound plant gets a good start in its new pot. Okay, so that's one. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with this other plant. Now this thing is crazy. So this, actually I had started out this plant with by cutting. So one of my friends sent me cuttings, and you can see it's kind of wild and crazy now, right? So this was just a few months ago, actually, when I rooted the cuttings and planted them in this pot. But I want a fuller plant. So these are really crazy. These are several feet long. I'm going to do the same thing. So I am going to maybe right there, and this giant vine. And let's see, one more. I'm going to leave, about like that. And let's see, this one, how about there? All right, there we go. So it kind of looks a little piddly now, but I only started out with maybe 3 cuttings, 4 cuttings at the most. So you're going to be waiting till the cows come home if you expect this thing to get into a nice full plant. So you have to help it along. So we're going to do the same thing. Have your water vessel, okay? And so again, where each leaf meets the stem is called the node. So, and on this one, you can actually see the roots as well, just like the Cebu blue, right? So I'm going to cut that leaf off. I'm going to cut this part of the stem off. It's just bare stem. I want a node, at least one node underwater. So I'm going to cut that one off too, okay? And so now I have two nodes that are underwater that are going to produce roots for me, okay? Here's another one. So let's see how long I can make this one. Well, I'm going to leave maybe one node, just one node on that, and why not? Make two cuttings here. It's going to look a little weird at first, but you are going to be glad that you did it. I promise you. Okay, snip that off. And I think I'm just going to cut, this is a huge bare stem. I'm going to cut it right there. And there you go. It is super simple. These will root very quickly. And, you know, come springtime, maybe in a month or two, we'll see how long the roots take to grow, okay? And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. With this one, I think I am going to take it out of this terracotta pot. It's drying out a little too quickly for my taste. So I'm probably going to transplant it into one size up. Again, so when you repot a plant that's root bound, you don't want to go too far up in size. So you want to go maybe one size up. So let's say this is, oh, I don't know. Is this a 6-inch pot? Maybe it's a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to go one size up. Let's say if it's a 6-inch, this is probably more 6 or 7. But let's say it's 6-inch and you want to put it in an 8-inch pot. And then I'm going to take these cuttings and plant it back in whatever pot I'm going to repot this one in. That's all you have to do, folks. Good way to create a nice and full plant, because otherwise you're going to be waiting forever, okay? So I hope you found this video helpful. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube. You can subscribe for free at my blog, www.ohiotropics.com, and then be sure to follow my Instagram, which also goes by Ohio Tropics. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.